Hi guys, technical difficulties. I don't know why my computer is acting this way, but here I am, take two. Video blog number 3 this Sunday evening. And again, thank you for joining me so late in the evening. It was a long, challenging, and trying weekend. So I really appreciate you guys hanging in there for me. So the topic of this week is mindfulness. And mindfulness is just something that came to me when I was at the store with my sister last week. Her and we were shopping, and I was picking up a few things for my business. And I was talking to her about it in line when the checker overheard us. And he was really curious about my business, so I started telling him about it. And he mentioned that mindfulness was something that he recently learned, and in his age, he said that it was probably one of the greatest things that he's recently learned, because it really helped him build some really amazing relationships with friends and family. So I thought mindfulness would be a good topic to tackle this week. And I apologize because I'm tired and it's late, so this one's probably going to be a short video this week. So again, I appreciate you all tuning in. So mindfulness. So most people don't know what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, our feelings, our bodily senses, our surroundings and environment. And it's all through a gentle, nourishing lens. And so what mindfulness can be kind of compared to is like meditation. But along with meditation, it can also work together with just thinking in your mind and being aware of what is going on when you're having conversations with people, or you're truly listening to something, like listening to me here. But so bear with me. So kind of like a little exercise, if you're sitting or if you're standing, just be aware right now of your feet and where they're at and what they feel like, from your toes to the bottoms of your feet to your heels. And now with your mind, start to move up your legs, your calves, your knees, up to your thighs. Just not necessarily feeling that with your hands, but feeling it with your mind. Being aware of what those areas of the body feel like. So now your stomach, maybe up to your chest, and your shoulders, and your arms, out to your hands. And then now start to feel your neck and your face. And if you notice how every time I say a new body part, your mind immediately is thinking about that body part, and you're actually feeling whatever it's touching or feeling. So if you've got pants on, you can feel your pants on your legs. If you're wearing a shirt, you can feel your shirt on your shoulders. Maybe kind of warm here, so maybe you've got some warm tinglies on your face. But when you're thinking about an area that I've mentioned and you can feel it and you're aware of it, did you notice how you forgot about the other parts of your body that I had just recently mentioned? And so that's what being mindful is about. It's about focusing on one thing and letting everything else go. Kind of like meditation. So what they say to do is practice mindfulness when you're having a conversation with a friend. So if you meet up with a friend for coffee and you're sitting there across from them and you ask them a question, try really hard not to be thinking about either something that they say that makes you want to interject and like tell your side of the story, or oh, that reminds me of something. Just listen and let them talk. And then when they're done talking, be mindful of the peace, like the silence. And then you can either ask another question or you can bring up another topic. But when you're just actively listening to somebody speak, sometimes you can hear them and you remember more of what they say when you're not thinking about what you are going to say next or what you want to ask them, or a reminder of a funny story, because what you're doing is you're actively listening in such a way that it is completely and utterly mindful, in a word. So mindfulness also involves acceptance. So meaning that we pay attention to our thoughts and our feelings without judging them. So without believing, for instance, that there's a right or a wrong way to think or feel in any given moment. So rather than somebody talking and then all of a sudden they say something wrong, or they get a date or a month mixed up, especially if you know what they're talking about and they say something, and it's always kind of a habit for a lot of people to correct somebody. Oh, you don't mean April, you mean August, right? If you know what they mean and you don't have to interrupt them, let it go. You know what they mean, just keep listening and let them talk. If you practice it with some of your friends and you don't interject and you just mindfully listen, and when there's those pauses when it seems like they're done sharing their story or talking about whatever it is that they needed to talk about, and then you like interject with a question or something quick to continue the conversation on their end, they're doing all the talking, they're going to catch on, and they might act like, what's going on with you? But that's okay, because that's the part of mindfulness that's awesome, because you're really paying attention to that person and they're going to notice. So, I was trying to find maybe some books to help with mindfulness, and I came across one that seemed pretty good. So if you're interested in some more books about mindfulness, there's one called Say What You Mean, A Mindful Approach to Nonviolent Communication by Oren Sofer. That's OrenSofer. And the name of that book again, Say What You Mean, A Mindful Approach to Nonviolent Communication. And just in the title, I think that's amazing, because we really do have a hard time communicating. It's one of the main reasons why people divorce, people break up, main reasons why we have issues at work, and a lot of the times why folks fall out, friendships and relationships with family, and nonviolent communication. And so it's good to talk to somebody, especially if you are trying to share something super important with anybody in your life. It's super important to try and share those feelings and emotions from your perspective. And I don't like when I have anxiety, when, just putting it in your lap as your feelings and your responsibility, and being able to be mindful of how you share the things that you share with folks, and then also just being mindful of the type of communication you're using. And so I think this would be a really good book, especially if you're trying to be a better communicator, and mindfulness will definitely work. So Google mindfulness, lots of stuff will come up. It's been around for a while. And as always, if you're going through a tough time and you need some support, especially around communication and trying to just get some feelings and emotions out to somebody that you are having a hard time talking with, it's okay to go get counseling. Go seek help. I'll share. I see a counselor pretty regularly, and because I'm not perfect, and I'll be the first to admit it, and I'm always striving to be better. And I mean, that's what my business is all about. That's what Guided Pathways Life Coaching is all about. It's about taking goals and turning them into a path and becoming a better person for tomorrow. And so I'm always working on myself to be a better person for tomorrow. I'm always trying to be mindful of those that I interact with, and my friends and my family, and to be mindful of my own mental health and mental state. It's always a good thing to keep yourself in check and to make sure that you are taking care of you, both mentally and emotionally and physically. So reach out for help. And if you don't know who to go to, you don't know where to turn, if it's beyond my scope, what I can help with, let me know you need some support finding a good counselor in your area. I'm happy to do the legwork to find you somebody that will help you. So thanks everybody for hanging out tonight with me as late as it is, and I really appreciate it. And again, I'm going to leave you with another quote. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. And that was by Aristotle. Take care. Have a good week. See you next week.